This is a summary page for those of you who are just coming onto my page and can't quite grasp the larger picture because it's a really big picture. So I'm just going to give a brief summary, and let's hope you start doing the right thing with it. Okay, so about 10 years ago, I got into augmented virtual reality, and I was quite successful at it. I was on the steering board, the international steering board for IEEE for augmented and virtual reality. I founded 2 companies, which is not uncommon for me. One was my personal company, which I was using to create AR/VR apps and to work as a consultant for brands. And the other was a nonprofit where I was bringing women into the field. I've written a lot of articles about augmented and virtual reality. It is the next revolution, kind of in the way all humanity lives, because it's about taking control of our perceptions. It's a big deal. So I was getting death threats. I was moving ahead. I had started a school that was teaching women how to use our tech, a free school. We had the first job fair in San Francisco. And in my private company, I had built numerous apps, and one of them was a major platform called Meta Objects. Now, this platform was going in the AR/VR ecosystem, which will be coming. This platform would be like a crucial part of the ecosystem, the AR/VR ecosystem, kind of the way we spend money, basically. It's just so valuable that there really is no way to put a number on the beta that I had built. And I had made my company a Delaware C Corp, all of this with my own money, by the way, and was reaching out to Chinese investors through my connections to IEEE to get funding to build it. Now, I took a vacation to South Africa. This is back in late 2016, early 2017. I took a vacation out in South Africa, and while I was there, I was drugged and kidnapped and brought to Camden, Maine. Leaving behind my job, my apartment, my car, my furniture, and my life, and the Delaware, my job. I had just built this incredibly valuable, priceless platform, and I had just spent a lot of money and time building it, and then creating a company where I could get investment. And then I was kidnapped, drugged and kidnapped, and brought to a small town in Camden, Maine. There I was tortured. Horrifically, physically and sexually tortured, and forced to sort of give a script to my family and friends about what was happening. That was a lie. I think that a lot of the women that were in my group knew something else was happening and fled the field. They didn't know what had happened to me, but something really bad. I was held and tortured in Camden, Maine, and framed by the local DA there, for Chris Fernald, for stalking my predator, who was Ethan Shaw. I had met Ethan many years before, had a brief affair. He had told me he was a criminal. I had gone to the FBI and told them that, and nothing came of it. And then this happened. So I managed to flee this horrific situation where I was being tortured. I have a brand on my back saying I'm Ethan's slave, which I am not going to remove until he's in jail. And I have cigarette burn scars on my body. I fled in 2019, and I immediately, not immediately because I was just so obliterated, but fairly soon after I fled, I started reaching out to law enforcement, thinking that's all I needed to do, right? Tell law enforcement what happened to me. There's plenty of evidence. and nothing happened. I fled to Spain. I left the country because I didn't feel like being here was safe. I had a laptop from Maine, and at that point I looked at my laptop. It was totally filled with hackware and crazy malware. So I took the evidence and I went to the FBI office in Madrid with my laptop, told an FBI officer there what had happened to me, and he sent me away, and that was the last I heard from him with my evidence. And that was just the beginning of the next stage in absolute horror, because I tried contacting every single law enforcement agency in America many, many times, and they didn't respond to my story. And there's plenty of evidence. I mean, besides the fact that why would I give up my valuable, my incredibly valuable platform that I was totally committed to in my group, and why would I do that? But there's just plenty of evidence in Camden, Maine, of everything that I'm telling you. They framed me for stalking 2, for example, when you can only be found guilty of stalking 2 if you've been found guilty of stalking 1, which of course never happened. I wasn't stalking anyone, I was being tortured. But law enforcement has done nothing to pursue my case. I took to calling them out publicly on X, and I'm going to attach that here, where you can see me calling out. And law enforcement has done nothing to pursue my case. There are other women being held there in Camden, Maine, held and tortured. And I'm presuming they're dead at this point. So, killed. So anyway, when that didn't work, when nothing I did, I tried to go to the media, right? I was a PR. Part of what I've done in my whole life is being a PR exec. And knowing how to talk to the press. And no media would publish my story. Obviously, my story is the most important story in America, right? I was kidnapped, a high-level tech exec, kidnapped, forced to Camden, Maine, forced into sex slavery, ample evidence. Media will not touch my story. Other women being held there, right? And who knows, right? Across the entire country. So our media is just lies. So I took to writing about everything that was happening to me and telling every American citizen I encountered what had happened to me. Nothing. No law enforcement stepped in. No media would publish it. Nothing has happened. So, and all kinds of horrible things happened to me. In the meantime, I've survived several murder attempts. Gun was fired in my mouth, and it just happened to jam. There is no law enforcement for me. At one point, after that incident, I went all the way to President Biden's chief of staff's house. I flew from Mexico to the U.S., and I went to Ron Klain, the chief of staff for Ron Biden's house, and there I downloaded for several hours to Ron Klain's man and to the Secret Service everything that had happened to me and that was happening, and that there are women still in extreme danger in Camden, Maine. And nothing happened. I wrote an article about that. In fact, I've written about all of this, and I'm going to post those links online. So, eventually, I ran completely out of money. I was a millionaire. And my family is very wealthy as well. And my emails just were not getting through them, and still aren't. Because, obviously, no mom, no family would want someone in the situation that I'm in now. So, I completely ran out of money, because it was stolen from me, and had to come back from Mexico to the United States, and now I'm homeless, and have been in the homeless situation here, and I landed in this house, this affordable housing for people with disabilities, because I now have severe trauma from being tortured, obviously. I'm in this house for people with disabilities, right? Being paid for by our tax dollars. I'm the only woman in a house that's meant for 2 women and 4 men. The room is empty. The other woman's room is empty. The 4 men are all ex-cons. 3 of whom are dangerous, violent sociopaths that you are paying your hard-earned money to house in this place. The organization that is managing this place, Bay Area Community Services, is totally criminal. They're just pocketing the money meant for the homeless, hand over fist, and ignoring our laws, right? Because none of these men should be here. None of these men should be here on taxpayers' dime. This is not what this house is for. I have been in extreme danger here. I have been attacked. I am being stalked by one of these disgusting sacks of shit. Just a complete sociopath. I should also mention, I am an expert on sociopathy. I am a psychotherapist. I have several degrees. And I had just moved into tech because I liked it better. He is stalking me. He steals my shit. He steals my mail. He assaults me. He tries to rape me. He's threatened to kill me. And I've documented all of this in videos, texts, and emails. And there is no way to get a lawyer, because I've tried to get lawyers through all of this, right? And this one, this situation especially, I have documented it fully. If this is a case that is worth tens of millions of dollars, it's easy money. You can't lose this case based on what I've documented about what's happening to me here. And I still can't get a lawyer. Something else is happening that is preventing lawyers from coming and making just easy money, tens of millions of dollars. So, over the course of this fight for me to try to get my story to the public, I've come to realize that impossible things are happening to us, that a technology is being used against us that we don't know. An advanced technology is being used against us that we aren't aware of. And that is silencing the women especially. And what is happening to us? We are being attacked first because we are undefended. For example, I am 100% sure that Elizabeth Warren has been killed. Our Senator Elizabeth Warren has been killed. Because I've tried every way to reach her. And surely Elizabeth Warren would be interested in my story. She's being kept alive just on the internet, but she's actually dead. And we don't know how many other women are dead. And maybe men. But definitely women. So, for example, I started a Medium page several years ago talking about all of this, and right away I got 23 followers, and then no more after that. It's been years. So things aren't functioning the way they're supposed to. That's kind of the little one. It's also become clear to me that we are this is hard to fathom. There is really no such thing as time. We experience time, but scientists have always said that it should be possible to come to us all along our timeline, because there really is no time in the sort of larger quantum universe. And we are being attacked all along our timeline. That is clear. And if you go to my TikTok account, you'll see a lot of the evidence for that. We are being attacked, if you ask me, from outside of Earth. And they're using our, most stupidest, brutal, nastiest people here on Earth as proxies in this war. And they have given to the stupidest, brutal, most nastiest male sociopaths access to this advanced technology. Look at my evidence. I'm a very evidence-based person. You may not want to see what I'm saying, but what I'm saying I have proven definitively. Many, many times over. And I am still trapped in this house. an undefended target because I'm the one who's seeing and talking about what's really happening.